Imagine a world where your very first second of existence begins with a violent 6-foot head-first plunge onto the sun-baked, bone-hard earth of the African savanna. There are no doctors, no soft beds, and no safety nets. Only the cold reality of gravity and the terrifying realization that if you cannot stand up within 30 minutes, you will be torn apart by the predators already circling in the tall grass. This is the brutal, high-stakes introduction of the giraffe, the sky king of the wild, into a world where survival is a luxury and death is a constant shadow. The story of the giraffe begins long before that first drop, hidden within a grueling 15-month pregnancy. For over 400 days, the mother carries a literal giant inside her, navigating the treacherous landscape of the Serengeti or the Kruger, avoiding lions and hyenas while burdened by the immense weight of her unborn calf. Unlike almost any other mammal, the mother giraffe remains standing during the entire birthing process. As the calf emerges, it isn't greeted by a gentle touch, but by a sudden, jarring fall. This baptism by dirt serves a biological purpose. It snaps the umbilical cord and forces the calf's lungs to take their first frantic gasp of dusty African air. Within minutes, the biological wonders of this creature begin to fire. A newborn giraffe stands nearly 6 feet tall at birth, taller than most grown men, and weighs over 150 pounds. But height is a weakness if you cannot move. We watch as a calf struggles, its spindly, oversized legs splayed out like broken sticks. It falls once, twice, 10 times. Every failed attempt to stand is a dinner bell for the silverback jackals and spotted hyenas lurking nearby. The mother stands over her young, a silent sentinel, using her massive 2,000-pound frame to shield the calf from the wind and the watchful eyes of the pride. She knows the statistics. Nearly 50% of giraffe calves do not survive their first year. Most don't even survive their first week. If the calf manages to stand, it discovers the most sophisticated biological machine on the planet. To survive at this height, the giraffe evolved a heart that is a masterpiece of engineering. Weighing 25 pounds and stretching 2 feet long, this muscular engine must generate double the blood pressure of a human just to fight gravity and push oxygen up that incredible 6-foot neck. But what happens when the giraffe lowers its head to drink? In any other animal, the sudden rush of blood would cause a fatal brain hemorrhage. The giraffe, however, possesses a wonder net of tiny vessels and one-way valve that regulate pressure, ensuring the brain stays cool and stable whether the head is 20 feet in the air or tucked down at ground level. As the first hour passes, the calf's senses sharpen. It looks out through massive, dark eyes protected by long, thick lashes, a natural defense against the stinging dust and the acacia thorns. These eyes are the giraffe's greatest weapon. Positioned on the sides of its head, they provide a panoramic, wide-angle view of the horizon. From its elevated vantage point, the giraffe can spot a lion's twitching ear in the grass from over a mile away. It is a savanna's living watchtower, providing an early warning system not just for its own kind, but for the zebras and wildebeest that often graze nearby, relying on the Sky King's superior vision to stay alive. But standing is only the beginning of the trial. The mother begins to nudge the calf toward its first meal, but she is restless. She has smelled something on the shifting wind, the heavy, musky scent of an apex killer. A pride of lions has caught the scent of the birth fluids, and they are closing in. The calf is still wobbly, its joints yet to harden, and the sun is beginning to dip below the horizon, bringing the killing hours of the African night. The mother is faced with the ultimate biological dilemma: stay and fight a losing battle against a coordinated pride, or push a newborn into a desperate run through the dark. This isn't a story of peace. It is a story of a silent titan born into a crucible of fire and blood. Survival isn't guaranteed. It is earned in every agonizing inch of growth. As the shadows lengthen across the golden grass, the first true test of the Sky King begins. The mother looks toward the tree line, her massive ears twitching as the first golden eye of a predator flashes in the twilight. The newborn is about to learn that in the savanna, being the tallest creature on earth only makes you a bigger target. The transition from birth to the open savanna is a brutal shift from a mother's protection to a landscape of constant, hidden warfare. While the newborn giraffe has survived its first hour, it now enters a silent war, a life of perpetual vigilance where its very height, its greatest advantage, is also a massive target for the apex killers of Africa. A giraffe's first line of defense is its eyes. Positioned on the sides of its massive skull, these dark, liquid eyes provide a panoramic, 360-degree view of the horizon. From nearly 20 feet in the air, a giraffe acts as a savanna's early warning system. Zebras, wildebeests, and gazelles often graze near giraffe herd, not for companionship, but for security. They watch the giraffe's ears. If those ears twitch and the giant head freezes, every animal on the plain knows a predator is moving through the grass miles away. This is a biological surveillance network that never sleeps. Despite their size, giraffes are the ultimate prey for a pride of lions. A single giraffe provides over 1,000 pounds of meat, enough to feed a large pride for a week. However, hunting a sky king is a high-stakes gamble. Lions typically target the giraffe at its most vulnerable moment, the watering hole. To drink, a giraffe must splay its front legs in a wide, awkward tripod position, lowering its neck and jugular directly into the strike zone. If a lion can latch onto the throat while the head is down, the giraffe's weight works against it, pulling the giant to the earth in a fatal collapse. If the lion misses a neck, the hunter quickly becomes a hunted. The giraffe possesses the most lethal defensive strike in the animal kingdom. A single hind leg kick from an adult giraffe carries over 2,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. It is a lightning-fast, piston-like strike that can decapitate a lion or shatter its rib cage into 100 shards of bone. Predators know this. A seasoned lion will often wait for hours, hoping for a stumble or moment of distraction, because one wrong move means instant death under a massive, sharp-edged hoof. For decades, humans thought giraffes were mute because they lacked a traditional roar or bark. We now know they engage in a silent, ghostly war of communication, using infrasound. Frequencies so low the human cannot detect them, giraffes talk to each other across vast distances. They hum to their young at night and send low-frequency warnings about predator movements through the air and even through the ground. This hidden language allows the herd to coordinate movements and protect the creche, the nursery, without ever alerting the leopards or hyenas nearby. To stay alive in this constant state of war, the giraffe has evolved the strangest sleep cycle on Earth. A giraffe cannot afford to lie down for long. Getting back up takes too much time in an ambush. Instead, they sleep in short, 3-minute bursts, often while standing up. In a 24-hour period, a giraffe may only get 30 minutes of deep sleep. They are the ultimate insomniacs of the wild, perpetually standing guard over their own lives, their long necks swaying in the wind like masts of a ship in a storm. As the sun climbs higher, the threat of the lion fades, replaced by a much more patient killer, the heat. The lush green grass begins to wither, and the water holes turn into cracked mud. The silent war against predators is about to shift into a desperate struggle against the elements, leading the herd toward the most violent social ritual in the natural world. Beyond the silent war with predators lies a much louder, more violent struggle for the crown of the Savanna. While giraffes appear as peaceful, slow-motion giants, they harbor a dark, aggressive side that only surfaces when a hierarchy is challenged. This is a ritual of necking, a bone-crushing display of power where 500-pound necks are swung like medieval flails. When two rival bulls decide to settle a dispute over territory or mating rights, they don't growl or bite. They stand side by side, perfectly still, before unleashing a series of devastating blows. A giraffe's neck is composed of 7 massive vertebrae, supported by cables of incredibly strong ligaments. When a bull swings his head, he isn't just moving. He is accelerating a 100-pound skull armed with blunt horns, known as ossicones, into the soft underbelly or the rib cage of his opponent. The sound of the impact is sickening, a hollow thud that can be heard for over a mile across the open plains. This isn't a mindless brawl. It is a tactical battle of endurance. Each bull tries to knock the other off balance. They lean into each other, testing the opponent's center of gravity. A well-placed strike to the legs can trip a 2,000-pound giant, and on the Savanna, a fall is often a death sentence. The bulls will swing their heads from the ground up, aiming for the jaw or the base of the neck. We see skin bruising, ossicones snapping, and sometimes even the horrific sight of a fractured neck hanging limp. The winner doesn't just get the territory. He earns a right to pass on his genetics to the next generation of Sky Kings. Winning the battle is only the first step. An alpha bull must then manage a tower, the name for a group of giraffes. Unlike many other social animals, giraffe herds are fission-fusion societies, meaning they constantly break apart and reform. The alpha must use his superior height and experience to guide this fluid group to the best grazing spots while keeping a constant eye out for threats. He is the first to sense a change in the wind, and the first to lead the retreat when the pride of lions becomes too bold. While the bulls fight for dominance, the females have developed a sophisticated system of collective child-rearing known as a creche. In this nursery, one or two auntie giraffes will stay behind to guard a group of calves, while the other mothers travel miles away to find high-protein acacia leaves. This communal protection is the only reason the species survives. These guardians are the most aggressive females in the wild. They will not hesitate to stomp a prowling leopard to death if it gets too close to the nursery. It is a system built on trust and the shared goal of protecting the future of the herd. The life of an alpha is written in his skin. Old bulls are covered in thick, dark calluses and deep scars from years of necking battles and narrow escapes from predators. Their patterns darken with age, turning from a sandy orange to a deep, charcoal black, a visual signal of their status and toughness. But as the alpha grows older and his swings become slower, a younger, stronger rival is always watching from the sidelines, waiting for a single moment of weakness to strike. As the echoes of the battle fade and the dust settles, the victorious bull stands tall, his silhouette dominating the horizon. But a new enemy is approaching, one that cannot be fought with a powerful neck or deadly kick. The green canopy is disappearing, the air is thickening with dust, and the 180 degrees Fahrenheit crucible of the Great Drought is about to push the giants into the dead zone. The green canopy has vanished. The lush acacia grove that once provided a fortress of shade and food are now skeletal remains, stripped bare by the unrelenting sun. In the heart of the dry season, the savanna transforms into a 180 degrees Fahrenheit crucible, a shimmering, heat-distorted landscape known as a dead zone. Hey, the hide of the giraffe, once its greatest pride, becomes a massive biological liability in a world without water. At 20 feet tall, a giraffe's body is a massive radiator. In the 180 degrees Fahrenheit heat of the midday sun, most animals retreat to the shadows, but the giraffe must keep moving. Their unique coat patterns are not just for camouflage, they act as thermal windows. Complex networks of large blood vessels lie beneath the dark patches, allowing the giraffe to dump excess body heat into the air. Furthermore, they possess a sophisticated internal cooling system where their nasal passages act as a heat exchanger, cooling the blood before it reaches the brain. It is a high-tech biological suit designed for the most extreme environment on Earth. When every other herbivore has run out of grass, the giraffe turns to the only food left, the desert-hardened acacia tree. These trees are defended by 3-inch ivory thorns sharp enough to puncture leather, but the giraffe has evolved a weapon of its own. Its 20-inch, prehensile tongue is dark purple, nearly black, to prevent sunburn while it reaches into the canopy. The tongue is coated in a thick, antiseptic saliva that neutralizes a tree's chemical defenses and allows the giraffe to wrap its finger-like muscle around the sharpest thorns, stripping the nutrient-rich leaves without shedding a single drop of blood. In the depths of the drought, water holes become graveyards. Predators wait in the reeds for the desperate to arrive. To avoid this death trap, the giraffe has become a master of moisture conservation. They can go weeks without a single drink of standing water, extracting nearly all their hydration from the morning dew and the moisture held within the leaves they eat. Their kidneys are incredibly efficient, concentrating waste to save every precious drop of fluid. They are the camels of the sky, navigating a desert that would kill a lesser creature in 48 hours. As the drought intensifies, the herd begins a long-distance migration. They move in a slow, rhythmic gait, their long legs covering miles of territory with minimal energy expenditure. This is the migration of the ghosts. In the blinding dust storms of the dead zone, these tall silhouettes appear and disappear like spirits. They follow ancient paths etched into their collective memory, searching for hidden springs or the last remaining groves of deep-rooted trees. For the young and the weak, this journey is a filter. Those who cannot keep the pace fall behind. And in the dead zone, to stop moving is to die. Every journey has its price. We see a fallen bull, his legs buckled under the weight of dehydration. In the wild, a giraffe that cannot stand is already dead. Before the heart even stops, the sky fills with vultures, the clean-up crew of the savanna. They wait for the lions and hyenas to do the heavy lifting, but the death of one giant provides a banquet that sustains an entire ecosystem for weeks. The minerals from the giraffe's bones will eventually seep back into the soil, feeding the very trees that will sustain the next generation. The drought is a test of spirit and biology, a brutal reminder that nature gives nothing for free. The herd has crossed the dead zone, but the survivors are changed. Their skin is scarred by the sun, and their movements are heavy with the weight of 30 years of survival. The Sky King has conquered the heat, but he is now walking toward his final and most mysterious challenge, the passage of time and the legacy of the last sentinel. After 30 years of ruling the horizon, dodging the lightning-fast strikes of lions, and surviving the 180 degrees Fahrenheit furnace of the dead zone, the Sky King enters his final and most majestic chapter. He is no longer the wobbly calf dropping onto the date. He is a last sentinel, a living monument to survival whose very presence dictates the rhythm of the savanna. But even for a giant, time is a predator that cannot be outrun. The first sign of the sentinel's age is his coat. While young giraffes sport vibrant, sandy orange patches, the old king has turned almost entirely charcoal black. This melanism isn't just a change in color. It is a badge of status that tells every rival bull and every prowling predator that this individual has survived 3 decades of lethal warfare. His skin is like armor, thick, scarred, and callous from 1,000 necking battles. His movements are slower now, more deliberate, as his massive 25-pound heart works harder than ever to push life-giving oxygen up that 6-foot cervical tower. In the animal kingdom, age is often synonymous with weakness, but for the giraffe, it is synonymous with leadership. The last sentinel carries a mental map of the entire savanna, a biological GPS etched into his memory over 30 years. During the harshest droughts, when the younger bulls are panicking and the water holes have turned to dust, the herd looks to the elder. He remembers a hidden grove of deep-rooted trees or a subterranean spring that saved the herd 20 years ago. He is a guardian of the herd collective survival, a silent professor teaching the calves how to navigate a world that is constantly trying to kill them. The impact of the sentinel reaches far beyond his own life. By pruning the tops of the tallest acacia trees, he has shaped the very architecture of the forest, allowing sunlight to reach the ground and sustain smaller herbivores like impalas and dik-diks. His massive hooves have carved deep wildlife highways through the dense bush, which other animals now use to travel safely. Even the birds, the oxpeckers that ride on his back, rely on him for a mobile feast of parasites. To remove the king is to collapse a small empire. He is a keystone species whose shadow provides life to thousands of smaller creatures. In the wild, there are no nursing homes. For a 30-year-old giraffe, the end often comes during a final, quiet migration. His joints, once capable of delivering a 2,000 psi death kick to a lion, begin to stiffen. He knows he can no longer keep pace with the younger, faster fusion groups. Instead of slowing down the herd and risking the calves, the last sentinel often makes a choice of profound dignity. He steps away. He stands alone on a ridge, silhouetted against a blood-red African moon, watching the horizon he has guarded for 3 decades. He is the ultimate sentinel, watching the stars until his massive heart finally tires. Even in death, the Sky King serves the savanna. His massive frame provides a month-long banquet for lions, hyenas, and vultures, fueling the cycle of life. But the true magic happens months later. His sun-bleached bones, rich in calcium and phosphorus, are chewed on by tortoises and porcupines, returning essential minerals to the soil. From the very spot where the king fell, a new, vibrant acacia tree will likely sprout, reaching for the clouds, waiting for the next generation of giants to arrive. The sentinel is gone, but the Sky King never truly dies. He becomes the earth that feeds the future. The journey of 30 years, from the 1.5-ton drop to the final, silent stand, is the ultimate testament to the brutal beauty of nature. The giraffe remains the undisputed master of the African sky, a creature of impossible physics and legendary resilience. Follow for the next epic wildlife series and comment below. Did you know a giraffe's heart weighs as much as a small dog?